Hello and welcome back to my podcast. If this is your first time here, hello and welcome. I like to talk about knitting, sewing, crochet, really any type of yarn fun and fabric fun and all of those sort of like crafty hobbies. And yeah, I just like to share everything that I'm working on, things that I want to work on, things that I've recently acquired, and I just follow a pretty similar format to a lot of other knitting podcasts that you'll see. And I have some pretty fun stuff to talk about today. So with that being said, I'll just jump right in. Also, I wanted to say a quick thank you to whoever is coming back. I'm so glad to see you here again. The first thing that I should probably talk about is what I'm wearing, because you've only ever heard me think about making it, not ever. I didn't even share the whip, guys. This flew so fast off the needles. I couldn't believe myself that I even am capable of knitting that quickly. So I finished this in exactly 2 weeks. I casted it on January 29th, and then I cast it off on February 11th. So it was so quick and I loved it. And it is a colorwork yoke sweater. It's called the Lupin sweater. I don't even remember who the designer is, but I will put it on the screen here. And it is just a really nice, simple stranded colorwork, and it's made top down, doing increases, and then you do some raglan increases here, just a few, and then you obviously knit the rest of the body, and then you'll just pick up the stitches that you had on hold for the sleeves, and then pick up a few more stitches and knit the rest of the sleeve. I did do some modifications to this pattern just for myself, and some of them I think I like, others I think I should have rethought it and I might go back and do something different. But I guess first I should talk about the yarn that I used. I used Lion Brand's 100% recycled polyester, and it is like surprisingly not itchy at all. In fact, it's only starting to get like a little bit itchy right now because I'm starting to get warm. But I wore it all day today at work and I didn't have any issues with it at all. It is a little bit fiddly, I noticed, but I think that's just most yoke sweaters where I constantly feel the need to readjust it, maybe pull it down. I have a bad tendency of knitting everything too short, so I even tried to like extend this longer than what the pattern called for because I know that I had knit too short. Like I think I added like 3 or 4 centimeters. I probably should add closer to like 10 centimeters more because I like longer sweaters. I just don't like when they're like right at my hip because they tend to rise up. But like, I mean, I don't know if you'll be able to see exactly where it falls on me. I'm just wearing sweatpants, so it doesn't look that nice. Also, I don't have my glasses on, so the camera's just kind of a blur, so I don't really know if everything you see is very nice. I'm hoping it is, but I just kind of see a general shape of my face. I'm trying not to get a really harsh glare on my glasses from my ring light at the moment. I'm working on some different stuff to make it a little bit more better, but right now this is like my best option. So I just look at my blurry camera. On a side note though, I chose this really pretty dark purple color and then I held it with this lighter like cream white color for the lupin flower for the colorwork part. And I love how it turned out so much. It was such a fun project to like work on color work and experiment with it for the first time. It wasn't overwhelming or anything. I think I did the whole color work section in like 2 days, maybe 3. I started off pretty slow and then I just like rushed through the rest of it. I was shocked. But basically the things that I did differently is instead of making like a turtleneck, I decided to go for a mock turtleneck, and I think that wasn't the best choice. I like how it looks, but it's not very functional because of how high up the collar is. It feels like a really thick, like now it just looks like a short turtleneck. But like I feel like it would need to be more like this to sit a little bit nicer. But I think maybe you could do that with adding more short rows. which I do think that this pattern needs. The way that it's written is with long short rows where you add quite a bit of stitches and you only have to do like 4 or 5 rounds of short rows. I think it would be better if you did shorter short rows and then you added more, because it would give more height in the back, at least for me personally. Like it's still good shaping, but it's just, I do find that it bunches still quite a bit. And maybe that's just a mix of being color work and then the awkward neck line that I chose. I also did make a mistake on my short rows that I didn't feel like fixing because I realized it after. I originally was knitting the size medium, or at least I thought I was going to. And then I decided I was going to size down because I did get gauge and I was knitting up with a size up needles. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to knit the small because like it was working out fine, and I also didn't want to do the extra step that it called for knitting a medium. So I was like, it'll be fine, it'll fit, I'll be okay. But I accidentally made the short rows the same size as the medium. So I had like an extra 20 stitches that I wasn't supposed to do. So my short rows like come all the way out to here, which they're not supposed to. I think they're really just supposed to go in the back, but I think the furthest short row I have literally comes like out to here. So I don't know if that makes like an awkward bit of bunching from that. But that's where I made a mistake. And then I did make some other like strange things. I decided not to do this had twisted ribbing for the rib, like all of the cuffs and the neckline, as well as the hem. It was all in twisted ribbing, and I tried it for like 10 stitches and I decided that wasn't for me. So I decided to just go for a regular ribbing, and I did, and I'm fine with that. I don't mind it. I did do like the tubular cast off for all of the edges, and I think I knit the sleeves too short again too. Like I think it's just what it is with yoke sweaters. I've only knit this one, so maybe you can confirm if it's just a yoke sweater thing where it just bunches up, or maybe I should have gone up a size. Maybe that would have been smarter. I don't really know. But yeah, I actually ended up knitting the color work with a 5mm needle. The pattern calls for a 4mm. I knit the color work with a 5mm, and then I knit the body with a 4.5. And I'm very glad that I did that. I don't know if you can tell the harsh line of where my stitches switched. If you can, I think it's pretty minimal. But I decided to go down because the yarn that I was using is supposedly a worsted, but it was coming up as more of like a DK weight. It's got so much fuzz on it, which is cool. But this is what it is, and I figured it's probably better for me to have treated it closer to a DK weight by sizing up the needles. So I'm very happy that I did, and it turned out nicely. I blocked it and everything, and it dried. I don't think the blocking like had it grow very much at all, to be honest, but I think that's just like polyester in general. It's not going to grow very much. And yeah, I love how it is though. It's so pretty. So this also has like I think it was a tapered hem in the back. I don't like it. I don't know what it does. I don't like how the short rows look on it. It just, I don't feel it. I need to cut these. It's weaved in, I just haven't cut it yet. And I don't know, that's the only like complaint I have about the actual pattern, is the tapered hem. I don't know what it does. Maybe I just needed to knit it longer and then I would have been able to actually see the benefit of it, but like I said, I tend to knit things way too short. Yeah, I am obsessed with this motif. It is so pretty. It is the lupin flower again, and I just love it. I am so proud of this. That is the lupin sweater, and I love it. I think it's super nice and classic. I'm hoping to have it for a while in my closet. I think I might have to go and like do something about the neckline though, because it just tends to rise up way too much. So I don't know if maybe just lengthening the short rows in the back would have been better, or just not going for a folded hem where it feels so thick on my throat. Yeah. I loved this sweater. It was so fun, super quick. I could not believe myself. The next finished object that I have is this this single sock. And this is a pattern that I just kind of did on my own. I followed the very simple like vanilla sock part for the, gosh, I can't speak. For the heel flap and then the heel turn, and obviously the bottom of the sock, and then the toe part. I followed just a regular vanilla sock pattern for that. And then I just made this really cool, one sec. Maybe you can actually see me now. Okay. I made this really cool pattern here. And this is just a textured, made with like pearl stitches pretty much. I don't know if I'll make a pattern out of it. I still have to make the other one. This I made with it is 50%, not 50, hold on. Okay, I had to go find the yarn to remember what it is. It is Unique Fingering sock yarn. It is a self-striping yarn. And it's funny because when I filmed last 2 weeks ago about not liking striping socks, I think it's just these colors. I don't like these colors because I do like how the rest of it looks. Like those are really pretty in my opinion. I'm sorry, the lighting is pretty harsh and it's coming off very blue. My white balance on this camera, it's not the nicest. Okay. And it was, yeah, just a really nice, simple, different type of textured sock. I got a lot of really nice recommendations in the comments, and I do think I'm going to knit up some of them. I just felt like casting on something similar to stuff that I was seeing, but I wasn't getting exactly what I wanted. And I do think I would make another pattern that I kind of got inspiration from with doing this. And I will have to see how that looks. Again, this is a 75% superwash, 25% polyamide. I do like this yarn. I actually ended up cutting the rest of where the stripes were ending up until this green and blue again, so that way like my socks match. And I don't know, this has just been a slow process. I do love, okay, so I used a 2.25 millimeter, so it's a really nice thick fabric. I don't know if the camera can pick up like how tight these stitches are, but it is a very nice and thick fabric. So I'm very excited to continue knitting with this, and I don't know if this will become like my go-to for socks. I haven't really worn this one yet, so I'll have to knit up the other one and see how that goes. But I do have plans to finish this sock hopefully soon. I know it just is a matter of me casting it on, because once I cast it on it'll be pretty quick. But I have a few other things that I'm working on. This took up like all of my knitting time the last week. That's why there's not a ton of progress on other things, but we'll see. The next whip that I have, and I do have one other whip, but I'm not showing that because it's just the blanket that I've been working on. It's just a simple garter stitch blanket, and if you do want to see what it looks like, because it looks literally the same, maybe a few more rows, you can look at my last podcast where I show you the very small progress that I made on it then too. Yeah, blankets are going to take a while. But this is my other whip. And it is, I know, I'm doing 2 at a time socks, like crazy. Who am I? I'm just like filled with all sorts of different new skills that I'm totally enjoying learning. This is my attempt at toe up 2 at a time socks. And they're also colorwork socks. I have not done a toe up sock. I have not done 2 at a time socks. And I attempted a colorwork sock, but failed miserably as I could not get it over the heel of my foot. So, I don't know what made me feel like jumping all the way back in, but I did. And these are going to be the cute heart sock pattern, and they were on my video from like the beginning of 2021 where I did everything that I wanted to knit in the year of 2022. And I did not knit these last year, but I did decide I wanted to knit them this year, especially with it being like Valentine's season right now. And I just thought they were so cute, and I have lots of yarn, and I think the colors I have would be really nice. So I'm knitting this with my Hobby Rainbow sock yarn. It is a 4-ply sock yarn. Again, sorry about the lighting. It's like really bright. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, it is a rainbow sock yarn, Hobby's rainbow sock yarn, and it is 100%, why do I keep saying 100%? It's 75% wool and 25% polyamide. And this is the base for all of the colors that I'm using, and I really like how it's coming out. I originally was making the size 1, but then realized that that is just going to be way too small. I know that's what it says for my foot, because you want 2 inches of negative ease. I don't believe that. When I tried making a sock the last time, that did not work out very nicely. So I am going to make the size 3, which is just the exact same size as my foot. Like, I think like 8 inches. So there won't be any negative ease. And I'm hoping that will work. I might regret it, but at the same time, I'm knitting with a 2.5 millimeter needle, and the pattern called for a 2.25, but I didn't want to use those needles because I wanted to use these in case I wanted to cast on my other sock in the 2.25. So I am planning on knitting the body of the sock in this gray color, which I love the way that it's coming out, like this heathered gray. So cute. And let me just pull it out really quick. I am using this, I think this is Bordeaux. I think that's how you say it. This color for the heart, of course. And the leftovers of my Craggy Shore sock, even though it's really not leftovers because I still have to knit the second one, but this is what I did have for leftovers, and I'm going to use these for the little stripes and the little dots on top and underneath of the heart. I think that this color scheme is, whoa, okay, this is coming off way more blue. Everything is so blue right now. One sec. Okay, now I look green. Super blue. I don't know. This helps a little bit. I'm sorry that the lighting just completely changed wackily. You'll have to let me know in the comments which lighting you liked better. Again, no glasses. I'll probably go back in editing and I'll be like, what was I thinking? But I'll still post it anyway because I don't feel like re-recording. Yeah, so this is my cute little color scheme, and I'm just obsessed with it. I think it'll be really nice to use up all my yarn, or at least most of it. It won't even use up most of it. To use up some of my yarn. I still will have plenty of yarn left in this color to make another sock, and I'll probably have enough left between the 2 grays and the rest of these to have like a striping sock or some other colorwork sock. I'll have quite a good amount of scraps though, so that's cool. That is that whip, and I cast this on yesterday, so haven't made too much progress on it. It is definitely going slower. I feel like doing the toe up, if I was knitting on one, I'd be so shocked with how much progress I would have already made. But now I'm happy because they will be exactly the same and they'll both be done at the same time. And I don't have to worry about making the second sock. Like, I haven't made my craggy short sock yet, which I think was the first sock I ever finished. No, it wasn't. It wasn't the first sock I ever finished. But it was one of the first ones I finished. I finished it on my South Dakota trip when we went to the Badlands. I remember. And I still have not finished the other. I do want to share what I made to keep my little sock project. So I pulled out my sewing machine yesterday and I was like, I need a project bag to keep just this sock together because there is so many colors going on and there's a lot of yarn going on and I just want to be able to keep it all nice and neat. So, and it all fits in there super, super nicely. This is a little project bag with a zipper. And I just used a metal zipper that I got at the thrift store. I got like a huge bag of them, to be honest, and I literally bought them with the intention of making project bags, so I'm so happy. I forgot that I had this fabric. My mother-in-law gave me this fabric because I told her I was going to knit some pillowcases for the couch that we got when we moved into our apartment. And she was like, oh, here, I bought some fabric that I was going to do the same thing with, but I didn't like how it looked in my living room or something. It didn't match her blue that she chose. So I was like, okay, cool, I'll take it. I love fabric, I love sewing, I love sewing and I love making projects, so it will obviously get to use. And it was this really pretty blue pattern. Don't judge, I definitely did not iron it. And then the inside is just this really nice simple black lining. Yeah. You can see where I turned it inside out. It's just a really nice simple little project bag and I'm obsessed with it and I love it and I want to make more. But I think I need to put some interfacing so that way it's a little bit more structured. I know that this was going to be pretty flimsy, but I think if I add some interfacing it'll be a little bit better. But everything fits so nicely in here. Let me grab this and this and this and this. I'm not going to be able to do this with two hands. I also stuck my little measuring tape in there. And then the yarn, which I really wish I grabbed from the center of this, but the outside was what came out first, and I'm just kind of the person that just grabs whatever yarns first because I don't like when it gets all messy. But yeah, they all fit in there very nicely. And then my needles and the project just go right on top. Gotta tuck the yarn in. And then I can just zip her away for the next day. And yeah, she fits very perfectly. I think it'd be hard to get another skein in there, but you probably could if you tried. I am very, very happy with how it looks. And I think I'm gonna make some more. I only have blue zippers though, but I wanna make a red one. And I'm debating if it's worth putting a blue zipper, even though I know it's not gonna match, or if I should just keep making these in the blue and then just go buy some red zippers, because I have some pretty cute ideas. I just don't want to make something with a zipper that will absolutely bug me. Like, this just looks so perfect in my opinion. I know the blue's a little bit off, but I love how it looks. I'm obsessed with it. That is all of the whips that I have right now. I do have a few planned things. If you look at my other videos, you'll be like, you have a lot of planned things. Well, I changed my mind. So there is a cowl going on, or at least starting. It's starting February 14th, which is tomorrow. And it is the, like, color, what is it? Oh, I can't remember. But Casey and I cannot remember. I heard of it from Young Folks Knits podcast, and Casey is hosting a knit along with another podcaster, and it's like a color theme. I want to say it's like color me color. I'll put here what it actually is, because I don't think that's it. But I am gonna knit with this. This is my leftover of my Big Twist spice yarn. I knit a cardigan with it, which I still have no idea where that cardigan went, and it's just the saddest thing. But this is the leftover that I have. I have this and I think another skein that I need to go find, but I do know I have it. And I want to knit my cargill cowl because that's what I was gonna do in like November, but I completely forgot and just kept pushing it down. But now that there's a knit along going along, I kind of want to. And I was originally gonna make it with the same yarn that Rebecca used in her pattern, but I decided I'm just gonna use my stash because I'm still saving up to do a really nice yarn haul. But Wool Warehouse has a sale going on right now, and I don't know if I can wait. But right now, my plan is to just use my stash. And I'm going to knit this for the cargill cowl, which is a cowl by Rebecca Clow. I think that's how you say her last name. And it's a really nice cowl using the dip stitch, I believe is what it's called. She made an entire sweater, the cargill sweater, and I think it's absolutely beautiful, but I want to do a smaller version, so I decided to just go with the cowl. And if I like the stitch, if I don't find it too difficult or like too finicky or fiddly, then I think I might think about making the sweater, but for now I just have my eyes set on the cowl. So I'm very excited because I'm going to be starting that tomorrow. I mean, I could cast it on today, but I think I'm just gonna wait for tomorrow. And we shall see how that goes. I sort of did the knit along with her for her bougie sweater. I made the Ingrid sweater, and I can't remember exactly when it ended, but I think I cast this sweater on during the knit along. But I didn't really knit along. I'm actually planning on knitting along with this one. The next thing that I think I possibly could start is a cardigan with this yarn. This was just on sale and I had a gift card, so I bought this. It is 100% acrylic. It's called Big Twist Party, and it's all these really fun variegations and like colors, and I think it would just be like a really cool color to have a oversized cardigan, and then I could like just throw it on and wear like a t-shirt or something underneath, and it'd be like a super nice cozy at-home cardigan. And I really want to, because I don't have very many nice, easy, like I don't want a cardigan that you have to like fuss with. I just want a really nice, simple, throw it on and it looks good. That's what I want. So I'm gonna probably cast it on with this. If I don't cast that on, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this yarn, because I did get it thinking of making like a stockinette raglan, but I don't know how much I'd actually wear that, because like this is a very proud color. She's not ashamed. So I feel like a cardigan would be nice because I can take it off easily, I can put it on easily. If I wore leggings and like a white shirt, I could totally put this on and wear that out and not feel awkward or anything like that. I don't know, cardigans are just so nice for fun patterns, I feel like. So that's what my plan is with this. I'm hoping I can cast it on, but we shall see. Apparently I'm a very quick knitter now, so I think it's just honestly because I used a little bit larger needles than all of the socks that I've been making. But yeah, we'll have to see. I think that's all I have. I didn't really buy anything like acquisition wise. I guess this sort of counts as an acquisition, but I did also make it. That's a good type of acquisition, something that you made for yourself. That's cool. But maybe I'll have like, now that we're getting into sewing season, for me, I call spring and summer sewing season because it's so hard for me to knit with heavy fabric in front of me. So I just tend to get drawn more towards the sewing, and it was so beautiful out this weekend. It was 40 degrees and we haven't had that type of weather since November. And I was so happy. So I decided to pull out my sewing machine and I made that, and I kind of want to make another one now, but like I said, I don't know yet. That is all that I have to share, I guess. Yeah, there was not a lot. I do think there are a few things that I am gonna probably make that will take up some of my time. I want to make some like really pretty, they're for lavender, but I think it would look like a really nice lupin flower. You can crochet them, and I think it would be so cute to take pictures with, because I want to take pictures of me in my knitted garments. I still want to take Ingrid's sweater pictures just because they're nice, and I think it'd be cool to start a little Instagram where I can have all of my nice handmade things in a really nice aesthetic. But yeah, I want to make some of those, and then I might also make some other small cute little things that I can either give away or possibly sell at like a local craft thing, something like that. Some of my friends have been recommending that I should do something like that, so I figured I might as well look into it, but I would need to have a little bit of a stockpile before I actually bought a booth or anything like that. Yeah, I thank you so much for watching and enjoying this little podcast. Again, it was a pretty short episode, but I do hope that you enjoyed it. And if you want to get a better idea of the stuff that I tend to make and work on, you can go ahead and check out my other videos below. I love hearing your feedback, your comments, even like constructive criticism. I've had a lot of really good feedback with my lighting situation. I know that it's wonky all the time, and I'm really trying to figure out something to work with it. I am planning on buying a certain light that I think will work well, and I'm like this close, maybe like another 2 weeks from purchasing it. But I'm just also trying to figure out how my setup would be. So it's a work in progress, to say the least. But I do appreciate you coming and stopping by and saying hello, and I hope that it helps that I didn't have my glasses with any glare today. But I also hope that the camera's in focus. I really hope you have a great rest of your week, your day, your evening, or your morning, whatever it is you currently are in. I hope that it's great, that you are happily knitting away and being able to do the things that you love. So yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Bye!